Hi, my name is Tayzeem, and I am a self-advocate and also part of school outreach team at Ummi Child Development Center. And today I'll be talking about celebration of unique minds. And through my today's talk, I'll be talking about what is neurodiversity, uh, embracing neurodiversity as a form of human variation, creating an inclusive world, and in the end, I'll also share a message. So starting with what is neurodiversity. The term neurodiversity was first theorized and published in a 1998 sociology honors thesis presented to the University of Technology, Sydney, by Judy Singer, who identifies as being the middle of three generations of women on this autism spectrum. So neurodiversity is a concept that recognizes different neurological development or functioning of the mind as a variation in human biology that should be acknowledged and respected. This means that all forms of human mental or psychological, neurological structures or behaviors are acceptable, and should be appreciated like any other human variation. The term neurodiversity has gained popularity in the autistic community, but it's since expanded to include individuals identified with differences such as learning differences, intellectual differences, commonly used term ADHD, which I don't like the term because I don't believe that there's a deficit of attention, but I will be calling it as executive functioning differences instead of ADHD. Yeah, including ADHD and others. So neurodiversity is the idea that these neurological differences like autism, executive functioning differences, dyslexia, and others are natural variations of the human brain rather than defects. These differences contribute to the rich diversity of human cognition. So moving on from what is neurodiversity to embracing neurodiversity as a form of human variation. So how do we embrace it? I think for far too long, neurodiversity has been viewed through the lens of deficit and that it needs fixing. We've been labeled as disordered or impaired, and our experiences have been pathologized and medicalized. But what if we shifted our perspective and viewed neurodiversity as a natural and valuable form of human variation? I don't think neurodiversity is not a disease or a disorder. It's simply a natural variation in human brain functioning, just like variations in height, hair color, eye color. We all have different strengths and needs, and neurodivergent individuals are no different. In fact, our unique cognitive styles can bring fresh perspective and innovative solutions to the world. The neurodiversity movement challenges the traditional medical model of disability and promotes the social model, which recognizes that a societal barrier, not individual differences, are the primary causes of a disability. By removing these barriers, we can create a more inclusive and accessible world for all. Neurodivergent individuals are also making significant contributions in fields like science, technology, art, and music. Like, for example, Emma Watson, Bill Gates, Albert Einstein are a few examples. Our diverse perspectives are essential for driving innovation and progress. By recognizing and celebrating our strengths, we can tap into the full potential of neurodiversity. So now, how will we create an inclusive world? I think while neurodiversity is a natural and valuable part of human variation, neurodivergent individuals often face barriers and discrimination. we are more likely to experience challenges in education, employment, and social interactions. For example, writing is currently the only accepted form as an answer in exams, when some neurodivergent individuals may not be, writing is not the only form of expressing what you have learned. So that's an example. Oh, and other one is overwhelming visual or audio or light, overwhelming stimuli at workplaces can make an individual not feel comfortable at a workplace. Or in social interactions, eye contact, having maintaining eye contact is seen as something important during a conversation in a social interaction. But some of neurodivergent uh, folks won't like the eye contact. Yeah, so next is what I think is advocate for all. It means creating an inclusive world for all individuals requires a collective effort. We need to raise awareness, challenge stereotypes, and remove societal barriers that prevent individuals from reaching their full potential. So here are some practical steps you can all take to create a more inclusive world for all. First is, I think, educate yourself more about neurodiversity and challenge your own biases. Second is what I think is make enablers for success. I don't like calling accommodations, but enablers for success. Make those accessible in all the educational institutes, communities, workplaces, everywhere. The more enablers for success are made accessible, the more it's easier for everybody, and it helps, I think, all. And ask the person if what's their preferred way of being referred to. Like, for example, would they like a person first language, uh, like person with autism, or the identity first language, which is autistic person or individual. I don't think we should assume their preferred way of anybody's preferred way of being referred to. So we should always ask. The next thing I think is advocate for inclusive policies and practices in workplaces, educational institutes, communities, wherever you're working or wherever you're a part of. And the last one is, I think, creating safe spaces for everyone where people can feel comfortable and supported. Some tools that help neurodivergent individuals are like headphones for loud noises or canceling noise canceling headphones or earplugs. Fidgeting toys help to release stress. Maybe a picture card game, picture card for communication system, and sensory games. Also interactive activities with movement. So these are some of the tools that can help. And in the end, I want to share a message. Its inclusion starts with understanding and accepting differences. Simple enablers for success and an open-minded approach can go a long way in creating an environment where everyone can thrive. Our differences are not flaws, they are beautiful variations that make humanity rich and vibrant. Embrace your uniqueness and keep spreading love and understanding to create a world where we all coexist. In the end, I've written a letter as well. I'll read it. I'm ending my sharing here with a personal experience of growing up as a child and how it affected my mental health. Protecting my mental health for me as a child meant sleeping in my bathroom at 7 a.m. when I was asked to get ready for school and take a bath. But how could I take a bath? The water was cold. And when I said the same thing to my mother, she replied, "But it's July, peak of summer. Why do you need hot water to take a bath?" I had no words to explain what sensory differences are and how my body needs water at a certain temperature to take a bath. So I chose to sleep instead inside. Later in school, when the teacher was checking all notebooks for homework, my mind asked me to pray to God, protect my well being. I would say, please save me today. Not because my homework was incomplete or not done, or I forgot the notebook at home, which is always the best excuse, but because, as per my teacher, my handwriting was illegible and they couldn't understand what I wrote. They needed a telescope, apparently, to read my notebooks. These are just some of the examples of how me being different impacted me. I felt so misunderstood, isolated, and frustrated. I was often told he just doesn't want to do it and is being stubborn, when the truth was that navigating the sensory world was a constant and everyday struggle for me. I felt like I was constantly failing to meet the expectations of others and myself. I felt like I was different and defective. But there were also some things that impacted my life, some other things. I had some friends who accepted me for who I am and supported me in my struggles. I had some hobbies and interests that gave me joy and satisfaction, like photography. I had some mentors who recognized my strengths and encouraged me to pursue my passions. I had some moments of success and achievement that boosted my confidence and self esteem. Today, I want to share a message that if you put a fish to, to test how fast it can climb a tree, it will fail and think its whole life how useless it is. But if you put the same fish in a sea and see how deep it can swim, you will see it doing amazing things. So stop counting climbing trees as a success and look at the diversity of success and learn to coexist. And please do not judge people by their weaknesses and the challenges they experience, but by their strengths. Please do not impose your standards and norms on us, but respect our differences and preferences. Please do not limit our opportunities and choices, but expand our possibilities and horizons. Please do not treat us as problems to be fixed, but as individuals to be celebrated. We are not less than anyone else. We don't need to be fixed. We just need some support and care to thrive. We're just different, and different is not bad. Different is beautiful. And in the end, I don't want to hear you say sorry to me, but try and build a coexisting world for all. Thank you for listening to me. Take care and be kind to one another.